What's going on? This is meant to be a training update, but my trainers consisted of 5 reps of this every day and not a lot else. I think I'm addicted to night nurse, and yeah, I have nothing more to say about my training for the last couple of weeks. I basically got sick at the beginning of the month. When I say sick, it's probably just man flu, you know, but I got sinusitis on my honeymoon. My immune system was a little bit shot and I kept training through it, went, okay, maybe I shouldn't have. One of the cool things about running is when you're abroad, or anywhere, it doesn't matter. One of the best ways to explore and see cool stuff, scenery. No downsides to running apart from the blisters and the occasional shin splints. But then I also picked up some stomach thing. Like, it wasn't having to go to the bathroom all the time or throwing up. It was just my gut motility, like my digestion speed, it was just slow and I just have felt sluggish. And now it's only really turning a corner. And since then, I've just kind of tried to push training. When I thought I was better, I wasn't better, made myself worse, and the cycle continued. So the last few days, I've just completely written off, haven't done anything. Even steps have been like a couple of thousand a day. I've just said, no, chill out completely. Today, I'm gonna be going for a zone 2 run, just mega chilled. I feel good, like my gut has sorted itself out, avoiding anything that could flare up my gut. And I've got a sensitive gut, so I've just had to dial that in a little bit more, but I do feel good. I've got a little bit of a nose thing going on, but we can get through it. But anyway, the main point of this video is I wanted to show you some of my running kit that I've invested in. Just coming into winter, none of this has been like gifted to me or anything like that. I mean, fucking hell, I got like, what, 3 views on my last video. It's not like I'm an influencer yet. I'm not an influencer yet. We will get there. I did buy a gravel bike sometime a year and a bit ago when I tore my meniscus after doing jiu-jitsu, and I needed something that just didn't put any pressure on the knee, so I went into cycling. Obviously, I got a little bit bored of that once my knee started to heal up and I got more into running. So I ended up selling that for a little bit more than I bought it for, which is absolutely brilliant. I think I bought it for 650 quid and I sold it for 700, but I did throw in like a lot of extras. They definitely got a bargain as well. So I've reinvested some of that cash into some kit now. So I'll just show you some of the kit that I bought, just because it gives me something to speak about today, because I can't tell you about my training, can I? First place I thought I'd start is just tracking all my data. So I'm a big fan of Garmin. It just is a brand that I've always trusted. When I was in the Marines, a lot of my kit was Garmin when it came down to GPSs, watches, etc. And I've just kind of followed suit. First up, the watch that I use is a Garmin Fenix 6 Pro. This was actually gifted to me. I was very lucky. It was gifted to me from one of my personal training clients when I used to work in Dubai as a PT. So I'm super lucky to have had him in my life at that point, and he gifted me this as a really good friend now. So that has stood the test of time. I will say though, the screen just stopped working for some random reason. I do not know why. I think the battery might have, you know, completely died, but I just sent this back to them, paid like 50 quid, and they sent me a brand new copy. That's been almost 5 years since that happened, and this is still bombers. And there's still features on this that I had no clue about. I take it out on Monroes with me. I use it for navigation, all the way down to my running and tracking weights in the gym, etc. Like, it's a really bombers bit of kit. So it is expensive. I know I was lucky to get it gifted to me, but I think even when this does die, I'm just gonna buy the next version anyway. And then heart rate monitor. So it's Garmin again, and this is the Pro model. What's the official name for it? So heart rate monitor Pro Plus. I actually bought this for Hannah, my wife, for netball, and I used it once. I was like, this is very good. So I just nick it from her basically whenever I need to go on a run. But again, 2 really good bits of kit that I think are must-haves if you want to get dialed into things like your pace and your heart rate, and you're a bit of a data geek, which I am. And then we can go on to like more clothing now. So this is all the stuff that I guess is new. I'll start with trainers though, because my trainers are pretty new. But let me show you what I was running in before. When I say running in before, I mean running in absolutely any condition, any surface. It didn't matter if I was doing a threshold run, a longer zone 2 run. I was just running in these Salomon Speedcross the whole time. And now this seems really obvious, but this isn't a road shoe. But I don't know if I picked this up from the Marines. It's kind of like you have your shoe, which was a boot obviously, and you just make that do anything for you, right? And then, I don't know, something didn't compute in my thick skull. I was allowed to get more than one trainer to run in. So obviously these have got super thick lugs on. You can see how much they've worn down now from running on the roads. But these are for more muddier kind of uphill running or muddier trails. They are very good for that. And I actually did start experiencing a lot of knee pain because I was slamming these on tarmac and track style runs, and that obviously wasn't the best thing, but you live and you learn. So now what I've done is I do still use these now and again, but my go-to now is the Hoka. I should have really cleaned these up, shouldn't I, for this YouTube video, but it doesn't matter. The Hoka Challenger 8. I wasn't really a fan of Hokas before. I just think they're ugly, and I still think they look a bit like spaceships, and the colorway isn't brilliant. But I will say they are a very, very good shoe. So I have been using these on all of my runs. So it is basically rolling terrain on loose trails, nothing too technical and rocky, I would say. I don't think the grip and the lugs are deep enough for that kind of stuff. So I might end up getting another pair of Speed Goats for that. But again, over the next couple of months, I'm going to be going more into technical terrain. That's when I'll figure out if I need to get another pair. But for now, these have been absolutely bombers. They've obviously got a hell of a lot more cushioning than my Salomons ever did, for obvious reasons. It's a hybrid shoe, you know. But knee pain has basically gone. I actually prefer how much wider these are than the Salomons as well for my toe spread. I mean, I do have narrow feet, but even in these speed crosses, they were getting squished up somewhat mad. So these feel really good. And honestly, I have become a better runner because of these trainers, and that is not something that I would say lightly. I'm not one to depend on kit, but getting the right shoe has made a big difference. Who knew? Who knew? Now we can get into the good stuff. What do I show you first? Do we go with a biggie or do we go with a small? So we'll start small. So socks. I have actually just been running in any kind of old sock, M&S, sport socks, and I didn't really struggle too much with blisters, but on the longer distances I figured I'm gonna have to get some decent socks. When I was back in the Marines, I would always get the 1,000 milers, you know, the thicker socks. Obviously they're not made for running, but I understand having a decent pair of socks does help massively. So I have gone for Sums, which is a British company, and these had some very decent reviews, and they are the Sums all seasons as far as I'm aware, but I'll put it up on the screen anyway. And the main reason I bought these was literally because my last name is Summoner and this says Sums, and I was suckered in from the fact that it says my name. So there we go. The more that you buy, the more of a discount that you do get, but socks tick. Then on to base layer. So I was just wearing sort of my protein t-shirts throughout the summer. They were completely fine for running in. I don't mind doing that at all, but now we're getting into the colder weather. Did a little bit of research and this came up top every single time. So it's the Montane Dart Zip base layer. I think this was a 36 quid with the Go Outdoors discount. And now I'm not a huge fan of Montane as a brand. I don't know why. I have subconscious biases. That's it. That's literally it. There's no other reasoning that goes into this. This got the best ratings and I trust other people's opinions a lot, especially when there's thousands of them. And I will try it on. I'm just going to try it on. This is what chicks do to get a load of views, isn't it? Hopefully you can see this and I'm not cut off too much. But this is a size medium. I usually get a size large in tops, but with base layers, I want it to be a little bit snugger fitting. Now, for reference, I don't know if you can see all of my body, but I am 6 foot bang on and 78 kilos-ish, 43-inch chest. And this is a medium, so it's pretty much exactly where I want it to be for a base layer. Next up, some warm kit. So brands that I do really like, Sealskin, and you're gonna notice a theme here now. Salomon, this is the brand that I just like. I like the look of it. I did have some Salomon kit when I was in the Marines, and I don't know, maybe it was the first kit that I really invested in, so it just has a place in my heart now, you know. And I was toying with either getting these or Sealskin stuff, but my warm waterproof kit is Sealskin, so I figured for my lighter running kit, I'm just gonna stick with Salomon for everything. To really take the tags off now. I wanted to keep them on for this video, but these are called the Salomon Cross Warm Glove. Now, they're not they're more like a glove inner, if anything. If it ever gets absolutely horrendous when I'm out on runs, I will put my Sealskin glove, which is waterproof and a lot warmer, over it. But for just running, I think they're pretty bombers. They feel really good. Got relatively small hands, so I've gone for a medium. It does have the little touchscreen pad on it as well. Feel really good, loads of movement. They do feel warm while I'm indoors, obviously, but they also feel breathable as well. Like a lot of the time when you do put gloves on, your hand can get sweaty straight away, which is a bad sign for a glove like this, but these aren't. These feel really good. The next up, the beanie. So I was umming and ahhing whether to get a fully waterproof cap or a beanie that was waterproof. Again, I've got a Sealskin fully waterproof warmers cap that I can have in shit situations if I'm out on the hills. But for now, I figured I'd get a beanie that, basically it's the same material as the gloves. And again, it's Salomon, bit of a brand whore at the moment, but I like it all to be matching for the most part. And my missus said I look like a newborn baby when I put this on. Obviously makes you more aerodynamic while you're running. Again, I won't wear this all the time. It's just gonna be when the wind does pick up on the hills and it's icier outside, but it is gonna be going in what I'm gonna show you next. And I think this is the big boy in it, the running vest. In fact, do I show you this straight away? I'm not going to show you it straight away because there's other bits that I want to show you. Before I bought this running vest a few months ago, when I was just doing shorter distances, I wanted something to hold at least a couple of gels in, waterproof, and obviously my phone, keys, whatever. And Salomon comes in clutch again, but it's the pulse belt. And honestly, this is one of the best purchases I've ever made for running, mainly because, I don't know if it's an ego thing, but I don't think you need to be wearing a running vest for anything less than 10K. So this was a nice little middle ground. You barely feel it around your midsection, and your phone just obviously slots in this pit here. You've got elastics at the back for running poles. So I don't know if I'm gonna get a quiver yet, or if I'm just gonna keep them here. I think that might be a little bit annoying. But again, this can fit in quite easily. A jacket in this stuff sack at the back here. I often have my Gore-Tex jacket in here for the bad weather. weather. Loads of room in here for gels, phone, etc. And obviously poles if and when I take them out with me. Which now leads me on to the bigger purchase of the running vest that I have chosen. So there was honestly so much out there. And I know Salomon running vests are a little bit more expensive, but I had the cash freed up from the bike, so I didn't mind spending, you know, a fair bit on this kit. So this is the Salomon Advanced Skin 12. I don't know if the ADV stands for advanced, but I'm gonna go with that. Now, I was gonna get the Salomon Gore-Tex version of this, but a lot of people said in terms of breathability at the back that it was just absolutely crap. A lot of kind of moisture was just kept on the back. And obviously you wanna try and minimize sweating as much as possible when you're running longer distances. So I went for the non-waterproof version, but I can just obviously put things in dry sacks and it'll be easy enough to keep waterproof. And I went for obviously the 12 litre, which is more than enough with this and obviously whatever I can fit in my belt. And actually, I should really change the angle on these videos, you know, but hopefully you can see where the bladder is gonna fit in the back here, which is gonna be, you know, directly next to my back. Then you do have on the right-hand side a zip that goes all the way up, unzip that, and that's sort of your main storage compartment. Again, up to 12 litres in here. You've got little tighteners at the bottom for cinching it in more so at the waist. And then when I whack it on, hopefully it's not gonna mess up the microphone, you can kind of see how it fits. So with this, I got a size large and it's honestly, it fits so comfortably and I've got tons of room. So for when I have windbreaker on, if I've got a jacket over that, if it's raining and I've got a Gore-Tex jacket on, I can easily, you know, just pull this out and make it a little bit bigger. Again, I haven't ran in this yet in any way, shape or form, so I need to understand how it goes, but it is very stable, very snug and secure. Obviously, let me get rid of these tags. And now this version is pretty cool because it has two pockets here that go through and all the way around. More space here on both sides, which is really nice. Some of the other running vests that I saw would only have like one zip pocket on one side and not on the other, or they wouldn't have any at all. It just didn't make sense. So in terms of like functionality, really easy to grab your gels from this section. Obviously I've got my front pouch too. And then anything else that's going to take a little bit longer to get will just go in the main compartment at the back. And now this one does come with two soft flasks as well, included in the price. And I didn't get any of this stuff directly from Salomon. I got it from a knockoff sports website that I will link here. I'll just put it up. But I think on all of this kit that I've shown you so far, I think I saved about 50 quid. And it's not nothing, is it? 50 quid on kit that can go elsewhere. So, but yeah, two 500ml flasks, quick access here. Then I'll have the water bladder with, you know, 1.5, 2 litres, depending on what I choose there. So it is more than enough to keep me going between aid stations, and especially on longer training runs, I've got ample. And we're almost done with this kit haul. Two more things that I want to show you. Can you guess what brand this next bit of clothing is going to be? So I needed a windbreaker. I was umming and ahhing whether it should be Gore-Tex. I mean, I do have a Gore-Tex jacket from Mammoth, which is brilliant. So I needed a windbreaker, somewhat intermediate through the slightly colder days that aren't so rainy, a little bit of wind going on. And apparently as well, this has got a very good waterproof rating. Even though it's not classed as being waterproof, a lot of people have said, not only on the Salomon website, but other sites as well, that it is very water resistant, which is really good because a lot of windbreakers don't tend to be. The only problem with this, right, is I've got a large. Medium would have been too small, definitely. I think it would have been too tight and wouldn't have been too comfortable. The only problem is, but the sleeves are a bit too fucking long. I know they are meant to be a little bit longer for, you know, when you are running, so they don't, you know, completely ride up, but I just feel like they are a little bit too long. But I just need to test it, you know, to see how it goes when I am running, because I just want to make sure it's not constantly going over my watch or, you know, just getting in the way when you're running. This is something that I've wanted for a while. It's a really nice fit. It's got a decent hood on as well. I'm a big fan of Salomon. So again, there's my little subconscious bias coming into play. So for kit, that is effectively it. The one thing I'm still umming and ahhing about is a torch. Now, my mum and dad, bless them, got me this Bulkar. I think it was like 10, 15 quid. But I've taken it out on a couple of dog walks, and if I'm being honest, it's very comfortable. And I couldn't tell you the lumens on it, but it's very decent. It can light up, obviously goes off when you touch it. I tried to do that on a YouTube video, but it does light up a decent amount in front of me. So I am gonna try this out for battery life, field of vision and all of that good stuff, different conditions to see how it pans out. Otherwise, I am looking at grabbing a Fenix, which is pushing about 100 quid. So again, if I can make do with the 10, 15 quid head torch and make it work, I'd rather save that money and spend it on something else, to be honest. So I think 90 quid for a head torch is a little bit excessive. But if you do have any recommendations for head torches, please let me know in the comments. I'm gonna need your help with that. And I do have a strange shaped head as well, a little bit like an alien. But for now, I'm gonna get back into my training after this. I'm gonna go grab some honey toast, get on this zone 2 run for about an hour and just see how my body feels. So hopefully the next time that you're watching this video, I would have got a decent week of training under my belt. I would have got that 5K time trial out of the way. I will definitely get sub 25 and I'm gonna get as close to 20 as possible. And the reason I'm doing this 5K time trial is because that time and all my heart rate zones is going to be the base of what I build my first kind of phase of ultra training from. So it's a pretty big thing. It's just an event I'm doing on my own. And it's been really cool actually. A couple of followers on here or comments have been from lads doing the Ultra X in Scotland next year as well. So if you are someone doing it and you've watched this far, please subscribe, drop me a follow, drop me any tips that you've found have been helping you so far as well. And potentially we can meet up down the line and get some training runs in, ready for the big day next May. But aside from that, I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions about the kit, please let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, all right? Otherwise, have a good day. See you soon.